evening, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Evening Sip with Richa. I'm your host, Richa, and tonight we're diving into a case that will make you think twice about the people you meet in passing. A case that takes us into the dark underbelly of Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, where a seemingly ordinary man was hiding a chilling secret. Yes, we're talking about Ram Singh, the so called Bhopal murderer. You might have not heard about him much, and that's exactly why this story needs to be told. So get comfortable, grab your drink, and stay with me as we uncover the details of his horrifying crimes, the lives he shattered, and how ultimately he was brought to justice. So, guys, now let's just start with the basics. Who was Ram Singh? So, to answer the question, Singh was a laborer from Bhopal. He didn't have any flashy background or a criminal record before the murders actually began. In fact, on the surface, he seemed like any other man trying to make a living in the town. But beneath that ordinary exterior was a man who was hiding a dark, calculated, and brutal side that would soon make him infamous. Ram Singh was a predator who preyed on the most vulnerable members of the society. His victims were predominantly young women, many of whom were living in desperate circumstances, looking for work or shelter. Singh knew exactly how to manipulate these women and lure them into his home where their fates would be sealed. So, guys, now the question is, how did Ram Singh, an ordinary looking man, go about committing these murders? What exactly was his method? Singh wasn't someone who acted in a fit of rage. No, absolutely not. His killings were methodical, silent, and cold. He would invite his victims to his home under the pretense of offering them work or a place to stay. Once they were inside, he would smother or strangle them either by using his hands or a pillow. The method was absolutely quick and quiet, leaving little trace behind. So, no witnesses, no bloodshed. This was the reality of many of Singh's victims. But let's just talk about a few of them by the name to truly understand the gravity of his actions. One of Singh's early victims was Suman, a young woman in her early 20s who had recently moved to Bhopal in search of work. She met Singh through a local contact who told her about a man offering the job opportunity. Little did Suman know that was the beginning of a tragic end. Singh lured her into his home, promising her work, but instead she became one of his first victims. Then there was Geeta, a widow in her late 30s who was struggling to meet ends after her husband's death. She too found herself in Singh's home, trusting him to help her find some stability in life. But Geeta, just like others, was silenced in the moment of complete vulnerability. Singh's pattern was always the same. He would target women who were isolated or looking for hope. And with each murder, he became more confident and more precise in his killings. But you know, guys, what was the scariest part? It wasn't random violence. Singh knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly how to manipulate these women and take their lives with no one the wiser. And that's how Singh kept evading captures for months, even for years. It wasn't until his last victim that Singh's reign of terror finally came to an end. Now, people, please allow me to tell you about the women who helped bring this monster to justice. Her name was Shabnam, and she was the one who managed to escape from Singh's clutches and, in doing so, turned the case on its head. Shabnam was a young woman in her early 20s who had recently lost her job. Desperate for work, she met Singh through a local contact who promised her a place to stay and help finding employment. Just like others, Shabnam entered Singh's home, trusting him. But this time, something was different. As Singh began to make his first move, Shabnam felt an instinctive sense of danger. She didn't wait, she fought back with all her strength. She managed to break free from his grasp, ran out of his house, and straight to the nearest police station. Shabnam's escape wasn't just a matter of luck, it was her sheer will to survive. She told the police everything she knew about Singh, his house, and the other woman who had disappeared. That moment, Shabnam's courage was the turning point. Police were able to track down Singh and they discovered a chilling truth. Singh had been operating in shadows for years, and the bodies of the victims were found in his home buried in the secret locations. When he was arrested, Singh's cold demeanor shocked everybody. There was no remorse, no explanation, just a man who carried out these murders with terrifying precision. It was her bravery, her refusal to stay silent, that led to Singh's arrest and eventually the closure of the case. Singh was arrested and tried for several murders. While he was convicted, authorities believe that there could have been more victims, possibly buried in the shadows, their stories lost forever. it's likely we'll never know the full extent of his crime. What makes this case even more unsettling is that it happened relatively recently, just over 2 decades ago in 2001, and yet not many people remember the story of the Bhopal murderer. In fact, it's not as widely known as some other infamous cases, but people, this story is important. It's a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous criminals are the ones hiding in the plain sight, wearing the most innocent faces. And we must never ignore the warning signs when someone doesn't feel right. So, people, what can we take away from this case? First, trust your instincts. Shabnam did. Her survival instinct is what stopped this case from becoming another cold case. Second, remember that appearances are deceiving. Ram Singh seemed like an ordinary man, but his actions were monstrous. Third and last, silence is dangerous. When you see something, say something. When you feel something's off, don't ignore it. Your life could depend on it. So, guys, thank you for listening to today's episode. I know it was a tough one, but it was important to share these stories. Not just to remember the victims, but to learn from them about the dangers we may not always see. In fact, I would love to hear what you think about this case. Do you think there are more stories like this that we should talk about? Have you heard of the cases where instinct and bravery led to justice? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to Evening Sip with Richa for more. And finally, that's it for today. Take care of yourself, stay vigilant, and trust your gut. I'll catch you the next time. Bye bye and take care.